Americans are having a very hard time buying cars right now, guys. But who knew that Hellcat in that BMW that you bought for $100,000 at the beginning of the pandemic would come back and bite you? Listen, guys, I've been telling you guys this from the beginning, that this trend of individuals buying the most expensive cars when you know you can't afford it, come on, man, you know you can't afford that Hellcat, but you went and bought it anyway. You knew you couldn't afford that BMW 7 Series, but you said, you know what, I'm gonna spend on me today. And now we're in this predicament where people can't afford cars right now because they're too expensive. Well, some of you guys put yourself in this predicament. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. As always, hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. It really does. But also, too, I have a newsletter. Yes, a newsletter that will give you tremendous value. All you have to do is click the link in the description or the pinned comment and you're in. Guys, it's free. You cannot beat this. You cannot beat free. Tell me, where can you beat it? You can't. Americans can no longer afford their cars. Who saw this coming? I just don't know. I don't know. It's a surprise. It just jumped up on us that, used cars were at the highest that they were, that new cars were at the highest that they were, that interest rates for those cars were at the highest that they were. And who could have saw? I mean, there's no data or no videos that told you guys, look, slow down on the car buy. How about you put your money in an emergency savings account and don't spend it all on a depreciating asset? Yes, an asset when you drive it off the lot, it loses 30, 40, 50% of its value. And some of you guys even went further than that. You guys paid more. That's right. You guys paid more than what the car was worth. What? Are we buying houses now in the form of cars? You're buying a depreciating asset and you're paying more for it?
That's true.
The math don't make sense. The math ain't mathing, guys. Put it in the comment section. Tell me how this makes sense. I mean, For decades, car owners have been a trademark of American lifestyle, with vehicles becoming symbols of freedom, independence, rebellion, as well as a necessity. But in 2024, the country's legendary love story with automobiles appears to have reached a crucial point of potential no return, as cars have become unaffordable to millions. Again, guys, this isn't a surprise. Look, let's be honest, right? You can go to a car dealership right now and you can try to go in and buy a $10,000, $15,000 car. Remember those brand new cars that were $10,000 to $15,000 that you can do? But nobody wants, come on. In this day and age of Instagram, YouTube, social media, nobody wants those cars. Come on. You gotta stunt. You gotta be out here with the best, brand newest car. And you can't just go in and buy a car you can afford. You want to buy a car that's going to put you over budget and make it that it's unaffordable, right? A lot of people are buying these cars, these $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 cars. Now, let's be clear on this. People are making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year and maxing out 100%. I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. Trust me, I've seen the tax returns. I've seen the personal financial statements that literally say $60,000, $70,000 car, income $50,000.
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
I've seen it, guys. So this isn't an exaggeration. You know someone who has this exact scenario happening with them right now. You're like, don't you work in the GM line and you're making 80 grand and you're buying $100,000 car? And you're thinking to yourself, how does this make sense? Did you get a discount on? You know what? Forget it. It's none of my business. That's what most of us do. But a lot of people, a lot of Americans are overspending on these cars, guys. And I don't want you to be one of these individuals who continue to throw money after bad by buying these ridiculous assets, right? And not only that, but you're overpaying for them. That's right, you're overpaying for them. And then on top of that, you throw on a nice 8%, 7-year. That's right, some of you guys are doing 7-year, 10-year loans. I know this is ridiculous. To Tesla, you guys are buying these Teslas that are $80,000, $90,000, and Elon Musk is saying,
You know what? If you keep on buying from us, we understand that interest rates are high. How about we stretch it out to 10 years?
do the batteries even last 10 years?
This is Elon Musk.
I mean, that's just me. I'm just asking for somebody. I'm asking for a friend. Does those batteries, do those batteries on Teslas, do they last 10 years? Both new and used car prices rose to record highs during the pandemic. See? As the car industry was experiencing supply chain disruptions and chip shortages, since 2020, new car prices have risen by 30%. Oh no. According to the data shared by an AI car shop app, CarPilot. Guys, listen, 30%? 30%? Listen, there's gonna be a lot of Hellcats on the market coming up. I spoke to a gentleman the other day who is a repo. He said this year, the beginning of 2024, he has had 8 to 10 hours of straight repoing. Just straight repoing, no breaks in between. He said so far this has been his most profitable January that he has had in a very long time. He said that he believes that the rest of the year is going to be just like this. It's because all of these Hellcats, BMWs, all these other expensive luxury cars that people couldn't afford, Ford Raptors and all this other stuff, that people were literally bragging about how expensive their car payment was.
Hey sir, what is your car payment?
Mine is $1,325.
And what kind of vehicle is that?
It's a 22 Ford Raptor.
These are the same individuals who are getting their car repoed. These are the same individuals who are now looking and saying, these cars are a little bit more expensive than I thought that they were. And it happens when money flow stops, when people are losing jobs, when everything around you other than your car is costing 2 to 3 times more than it used to be. Now, you see how all of that catches up with you? And the last thing that you want to be expensive is the thing that you use to get from point A to point B. And you're looking at that and going,
Wait a minute. I'm spending $3,000 a month on a car payment, and I'm just going to Target? I'm just going to Walmart? I'm just going to the grocery store? I don't want something this expensive.
and they're giving it back, guys. In 2023, a year during which inflation slowed down to the point the Federal Reserve decided to stop raking heights, a new car price rose by 1%, an average of $50,364, while used car prices fell by only 2%, an average of $31,030. But the thing stands, cars are still really expensive for many Americans. Just 10% of new car listings are currently priced below $30,000. According to CoPilot, things are not much better on the used car market, where only 28% of listings are currently priced below $20,000. I just want you to hear this. Only 10% of cars are priced below $30,000 and only 28% of used cars under $20,000. So again, do you think that people who are making that $30,000, $40,000 will be able to afford a $30,000 car? I mean, they shouldn't be able to afford it just based off of the numbers and math. But here's the thing. A lot of you guys think to yourself, Orlando, I get what you're saying, but nobody is buying a car that making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 that is buying a $100,000 car. And I would say, you're wrong. I know how you think the math is supposed to work, but you haven't been in a car dealership, have you? In the financing part of a car dealership, the number moving it's quite magical, to just say the least, especially during the pandemic, guys. During the pandemic, the number shuffling was crazy.
How much do you make? Oh, you make 30, 40,000? Hey, we don't need this. Just sign an affidavit saying that you're gonna make this, that you can afford this.
That's what was happening. According to an October report by Market Watch, Americans needed an annual income of at least $100,000 to afford a car, at least if they're following standard budgeting advice, which says that they shouldn't spend more than 10% of their monthly income. Again, I think the key word or phrase in here, if they're following standard budgeting advice.
Yeah, right.
But we know most people aren't following standard budgeting advice. They're following their own advice, their neighbor advices, their cousin Jamal's advice. you can afford that car. Hey, man, get that Hellcat. Hey, you know you would look good in that 7 Series. Matter of fact, did you know that you can write off a 7 Series? There's a way that you can get it for free.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
My boy JT Pocket Watch it, he hates that type of advice where people are telling you online that you can get away with writing off the entire car. That's right, you get the car for free. So with that type of information going around, and then from your cousin Jamal telling you you look good in the Hellcat, why wouldn't you buy that expensive car that is 200% over what you make? But I digress. It says here, that means that more than 60% of American households currently cannot afford to buy a new car. Based on the census, for individuals, the number is even worse, with 82% of people below the $80,000 line. 82%? Below the line, guys? That's a lot of people who cannot afford a car right now. But again, we all know who's listening to standard budgeting advice. I mean, some of you might, but we know most people aren't even there looking at something like that. I mean, we know that most people not only having a car that's too expensive for them to afford, we also know that people have credit card debt up to here. We know that people don't have an emergency savings account. We know that people are still fighting inflation just for needs, things like groceries, energy. And again, everybody says, oh, Orlando, the economy's doing great. Are you kidding me? Did you hear? The Fed is going to start cutting rates at the beginning of this year.
Stop the cap.
It's going to get us back to the pre-pandemic, our pandemic days, where there was so much free-flowing money. And I would say that's how we got here to begin with. The point of this video, guys, is for you guys to really understand that buying these expensive cars, I know I'm being funny about it, but here's the thing. People really did go out here and buy these most expensive cars, these cars that are depreciating assets, these cars that are way out of their budget, way out of their price line. The maintenance is insane. Here's a lot of things that people don't really understand. You go out here and you buy these expensive BMWs, the European cars that cost $100,000 to $200,000, and you think you're just buying the car. But reality is you're buying the maintenance package, and the maintenance package is $300 for an oil change, $1,000 just to change the tires. I'm not even being ludicrous or really in the median. I'm just being nice about it. But in reality, it's probably much worse. I don't own a BMW or a Hellcat or any of these things. And this is what I'm trying to say. If you can't afford it, I'm not against people buying these cars. I'm not against people doing whatever you want to do with your money because it's your money. You can do whatever you want. And here's the thing. I think that these prices will continue to go up until the repo numbers really do catch up, and they're catching up. I just told you what a guy that I spoke to that's a repo agent said. He said this is the best year he's had. So guys, make sure that you're not overspending. That 2024 for you is a year where you can get your finances together, where you can be ready to buy that house, that you can be ready to have, if something happens, you have that money in the emergency savings account. I want you to be ready. I don't want you to be throwing money on these ridiculous depreciating assets. And don't be one of these guys on here bragging to your friends about, I'm paying $3,000 a month in a car payment. Yay me. Because it will be yay you, but it'll be yay you, your car's getting repoed. As always, guys, you won't get all of your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video over here. Yes, this video right here. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, and get into your first rental property. I promise you the information you will get from it will be gold. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.